All right, joining us now here at In the Circle on D1 Softball, powered by 643, he is the head coach of the East Carolina Pirates, coming off a 31 win season, a program best 14 wins in the American Conference, made a deep run in the AAC tournament. Our good friend Shane Winkler back with us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball. How you doing, Coach?
Great, Eric. Appreciate you having me, man. It's been a busy fall, but we're improving. We're doing what we need to do. Looking forward to the spring.
I am looking forward to it. Before we discuss about this year's team, I mentioned it 31 wins last year, 14 wins in the American Conference regular season, the most for the program as a member of the American. You made a deep run in the conference tournament in Tampa. I know you wanted more, but when you reflect now on last year, what comes to your mind?
I mean, coaches' minds. I always look at the ones that got away first. But just the overall growth of the program. I felt like last year was kind of with the roster was kind of 4 years in the making with the kids that we brought in, young ones that we've recruited through the high school and travel ball ages, and then the transfers that we brought in. Like I said, it was kind of 4 years in the making, and we put together a program last year that was in a position to make a run. Like I said, I feel like we throughout the conference season we let some games slip away that could have helped our seeding a little bit, but we showed that we're ready to compete with the top half of the conference. We're in that conversation now. We finished the season off that way. Now it's with our returners learning from where we need to continue to grow to not give away a game here and there, and looking at when you look at the standings and how big the seedings are and the advantages to some of the buys that we give in our conference tournament. I mean, every game is so meaningful on what that could mean with maybe playing one less game in the conference tournament or who you're playing. So just kind of learning how important it is game to game, inning to inning to make sure that we're our best. But proud of the year that we had, and we bring back a solid group. But we put ourselves in a position, like I said, to be in that conversation with the top one of the conference.
Yeah, and it's one of those where a few games go a different way. Not only is the conference standings different, but you might be in the conversation for the NCAA tournament because that's the beauty of playing in a top five league, which is what the American was a year ago as the fifth best rated conference in the sport, and could be again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about that a lot. I mean, obviously, our ultimate goal is to get in the postseason, play the NCAA tournament. We talk to our group. You got two ways of doing it. You put together a great week in May, or you put together a resume throughout 56 games that you're in that conversation. And we throw together a challenging enough schedule to where the strength of schedule is there, but it is really being disciplined enough and driven enough to take every game like it's the conference tournament. And I think that's one thing that we didn't do well enough last year is we got towards the end of the season and we flipped a switch and we were a different team. We've got to start that in February this season coming up, and we've talked about that a lot. But we need to value every game like it is that end of the season, biggest game of the year, and I think we've done that at times throughout the fall, and whether it's our Purple and Gold World Series or the 8 fall games that we have. So we've learned a lot from last year. Like I said, proud of the progress that our program has made. But I mean, it's cool to see a lot of our returners that they're not happy with just being an above 500 team in the American, even though it's a challenging league. But they want more, and they've worked that way.
You basically have about a 50-50% roster turnover, new faces versus returners, with 8 transfers and 4 freshmen. What's it like building a team and getting that chemistry in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, we knew as we were putting together a squad this summer, one that, like you said, we're going to have to add half a team throughout a 3 month period in the summer, and it's challenging. But we knew that we kind of rest on our culture as kind of our secret sauce. We think we do that really well. It's just making sure that we bring in the right pieces, and we nailed that. We've got a great group of kids. They get along well. They gel well together. We have a great environment out at practice. I think it starts with our staff, but you also got to have the right kids. We've got great leadership within the program with Anna Sawyer, Chloe Geyer, some of our returners that lead well. So it's a player-led program, which is big. And then, like I said, we brought in the right pieces that fit well, not only from a softball standpoint, but from a character standpoint. That, like I said, it's a great environment to be a part of. But it is a challenge. I mean, I think the days of building a program, it's slowly becoming over, and it's building a team year to year when it comes to the transfer portal. I mean, last year was the first time since I've been here that we lost players that saw significant playing time. I mean, everyone always has a couple kids here and there that don't see playing time and they decide to move on somewhere smaller. But that last year's the first time that we had kids that moved up to power fours and that made significant impacts with the program. So replacing those is a big deal. But I mean, that's all part of it now. So we're going to use the portal to our advantage, and I think we've done that.
Yeah, it's part of college athletics, right? It's just not just softball, but it's college athletics landscape. So when you get into the portal, obviously you're looking for talent. You mentioned the character side. I'm curious, are there also certain things you're looking for as a staff where you're like, hey, we were missing this last year. We need to address this aspect. Was that what? Take us through that process as you were going building this team.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a stressful summer. Everyone thinks with coaches that we get a lot of time off in the summer, but it was stressful. Knowing that we needed to put together 6 to 8 kids in a portal class is pretty big. We knew we need to add pitching, and everybody's looking for pitchers. So you're competing with everyone in the country for arms, and we think we nailed it there. But I mean, obviously, you got your position needs that you're looking for. One of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to add some pop and some athleticism for the left side of the plate. When you look at our conference opponents, especially the top teams in the league, and you look at their righty lefty splits with their pitching staff, it is significantly better facing righties than it is lefties. So we feel like we added some left-handed sticks that can make an impact without just bypassing some righty bats that can absolutely help us. We feel like we improved ourselves in multiple ways all over the field. I mean, catching infield, outfield, and we added a couple pitchers. So we within the 8, we added everything. But we feel like again we added the right people.
Let's first start and talk about some of the returners. I want to start with Anna Sawyer. I'm going to read the numbers: 363, 6 homers, 22 RBIs, 9 doubles. He was all academic, all conference performer. But I feel she's underrated. You and I have talked about this, even going back to last year. This kid's underrated. Maybe people need to take more notice. Talk about what she brings to the table.
One is her leadership. I mean, she is so passionate about this program. I talked to her in our exit meeting last May when the season was over, and told her like, listen, we just graduated a big senior class. This program is finally yours. I know you've been looking forward to that. And she's like, Coach, you have no idea. So she stepped into that role immediately. And I mean, she's always been kind of that quiet leader on the outside within the program, but we had a dynamic upper class group ahead of her. So this is finally her program that she can lead and be the voice of, and that's exciting to have a kid that has loved ECU from a young age. Being a local here is pretty cool. But with her as a player. If we can turn every at bat into bottom of the seventh, 2 outs, and game on the line, I think she'd hit 450 with double digit home runs, because she's a kid that I don't care what you hit, I care when you hit it, and she steps up in a big moment. So now it's just mentally putting herself in that position where every single at bat is she's wanting to be a little more offensive, that she's trying to be first to the ball, and she's doing a lot better job of that throughout the fall. That like I said, instead of being maybe underrated, that she's going to be one of the better hitters in the conference, and again another left-handed power bat that is going to make an impact for us.
That was pretty loud there. Talk about some of the other returners, what you've seen from them, and they kind of taking that next level that you think will have an impact on this team. Certainly, especially starting with the offense.
Yeah, offensively, Kenesha Anderson has been just you can't get her out, whether it's in our inner squads or the 8 fall games that we play. I think she hit 550 plus in our inner squads and the fall games. I mean, she's been dynamic at the top of our lineup. Obviously a slapper, but I see her leaving the park a couple times as a slapper this spring. She's with her power slap, the ability to lay down the bunt. So she's going to set the tone for our offense from the top. Chloe Geyer has been steady for us. We moved her over to the right side of the infield. I think she's a little more comfortable there, making some swing adjustments. But she's just overall, as a transfer last year, she's more comfortable this year. So getting to be herself a little more. So we're looking forward to her making a big impact. Trinity Nichols does a great job defensively over at third, but has been swinging it pretty well. And then we got a couple others like Hannah Evans that had an outstanding fall that she's going to make an impact in the outfield for us. Jenna Kroll's another one that didn't see a ton of time as a freshman last year, but kind of growing up as a DP, maybe a number 2 catcher type that has some power. But from an offensive standpoint, we got a decent amount of returners in the circle. Taylor Apple has matured a ton as a pitcher. She had a good conference season last year, has experience now, and she's got the makings of an ace for our staff. And we got some newbies behind her that are going to also make an impact. We're really proud of just the pitcher she's becoming. Like I said, more of a pitcher, not just a thrower now, to where she can change speeds a little more, locate pitches a little better. So that's going to help our program out a lot.
Let's keep it there with the pitching staff. With Taylor being the leader there, you've added some arms there. How do you talk about the staff? What do you expect from the rest of the arms? And is Taylor the leader in there in that bullpen right now?
Yeah, she is, but I mean, I got to get a lot of credit to our pitching coach. Lexi Hanley does a great job with the whole staff. I mean, we've got four this year, so in numbers, we've got less than we've had in the past, but I think our staff is deeper than it's been since I've been here, even with just four of them. Just the quality that all four bring. So Taylor, like I said, she's matured a ton. Julia Apostolakos coming from USF is going to be outstanding. She is really comfortable in a great position here, loving working with Lexi in our program. I mean, she's a kid that's been 67, 68 all fall. So the velocity's there. She's learning how to pitch, going to swing it a little bit for us, but she's got the makings of being in the race for conference pitcher of the year during her time here. I mean, she has been outstanding. Abby Hune came from Iowa State, does a great job, is a compliment to Taylor and Julia really, but being a down pitcher type kid can change speeds, give hitters a different look. So really excited about what she'll do. And then we've got a freshman, Sydney Rainford, that came from my hometown in Indiana that I've kind of known their family for a lot of years. She's had an outstanding fall. So we've got four looks that we're really excited about that we have confidence running out there in different situations to kind of give opposing offense a different look. So we're really excited. Like I said, less in numbers, but the depth of our staff is going to be really good.
Right, there's something to be said for that. That maybe you don't have the quote numbers game from an arm standpoint, but the quality's up there, and the pitchers they will know their roles, and they'll know that they're going to get opportunities. That's the positive from that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Is they know they're going to be seeing the ball.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. There's not going to be many times where you run a kid out there and she hasn't been in a game for 4 or 5 days. When you have 6, 7 pitchers, they may not see action for a week, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, here's a big moment. They're not ready for it. Our kids are going to see those moments. They did all fall, and they've had our pitching staff kind of led the way this fall with how well that they did. So we're excited about them. But like I said, we're going to put the pressure on all of them to throw them in big moments, and they've showed they can do it, and we're really excited about it.
Moving over to the offensive side, I mean, among the new faces, the one that stands out, I think, to a lot of people is Sarah Stone, the kid from Indiana, was an all Big Ten performer there. At what point, what does she bring to the table here? Because I know that was one that got a lot of people's attention when you got her.
Yeah, obviously what she brings on the field. I mean, ton of power, athleticism. She's been catching for us, which has been big because she's a big leadership role. She's constantly talking. She's locked into everything going on. But I mean, I think she's just comfortable in the way we run our program. I mean, this kid is truly happy. You see that every time that you run into her. I mean, great teammate, great energy, ton of support for all of her teammates. So I mean, it's been a blast not only from what we know we're going to get production wise from her, because that's obviously what we look to recruit. But I mean, she is a game changer with just how she is as a teammate, and just her energy is infectious. So she's been fun to be around for our staff and then all of our players. So we're excited in a lot of different ways what she's going to bring to the program.
Catching, do you see her catching and playing first base? Is this kind of what you envision with her, or is it just specific one position? How do you envision using her?
No, I mean she's going to catch a great deal.
Okay.
I mean she does an outstanding job at first, and we know we have the ability to run her over there if we need to uh, give her legs a rest a little bit if we're not going to catch her 3 straight days or whatnot. But I mean she's done a great job behind the plate. She's got an absolute cannon. But I love the way she manages our staff and the energy that she has, constantly talking. She knows the game really well. She comes from her dad's a coach. She's going to be a coach someday. So I mean, she just having that behind the plate is a big deal.
So talk about that's interesting. How does your defense look as a result with the new faces? I know there's some battles going on, but there's obviously some people in the mix. How do you see your defense, and what positions are maybe the most interesting ones you're kind of keeping an eye on there?
I love the left side of our infield, which is big. Trinity Nichols does an outstanding job at third base. She played more of a defensive replacement role there last year. Chloe Geyer got a lot of starts at third, and then we bring in Trinity from a defense standpoint, so she does a great job. And MK Scott is as good as it gets at short. I mean, she's got next level with her arm strength that she can play a little deeper, cut some balls off. So our left side of the infield is gonna save runs for us. We're gonna have a little competition on the right side. Chloe Geyer slid over to second base, so we see her seeing a lot of time there, but she can also play first a little bit. There's going to be a lot of different faces potentially at first base, whether it's revolving between Sarah Stone getting over there. Gabby Fowler has swung the bat really well, can play some first for us. We'll see some time DP when we're moving some things around, and we got some players that uh, are developing, whether it's been transfers that come in or some young kids that going to be seeing time in that DP role early on, trying to find who that kind of 8, 9, 10 in the order is going to be with consistent bats. So there's going to be some position battles in the infield, definitely some position battles in the outfield. Kanisha Anderson's going to be our mainstay in center. She covers basically foul pole to foul pole for us and does a great job. Anna Sawyer's kind of been in right field consistently. May see some time in left as we move her around, but Hannah Evans, like I said, had a really good fall. Haley Dieter over the past few weeks has really come into her own, a little more comfortable. So we've got a ton of options, and I think there's going to be a lot of competition. Which again, we've got a lot of bats, good and bad problem to have because I'm going to have to find enough at bats for them throughout the first month to see kind of who's going to be cemented in the lineup come conference play. But it's great to have a lot of options that I don't think we've had in the past.
That's a good problem to have. Coaches don't mind having that problem. They're like trying to figure out the box score, the lineup card there.
Exactly.
Some other new faces of note. Lillian over there at Georgia Tech. You got Alexis Morgan from UCF, who's kind of a speedster. Addison from Charlotte. Aaron from Parker from North Carolina. Talk about what those other pieces bring to the table, as well as a couple of the other freshmen there.
Yeah, I mean they bring a ton of potential. Aaron Parker has light tower power. I mean it's impressive, and we're getting her fundamentally where she needs to be mechanically in the box to be consistent with that, and she's growing a lot offensively. I would compare her a ton to Morgan Johnson, who has just been a part of our program for the last 2 years that put up monster numbers. When she came in the fall, we had a lot of work to do with her swing, and it is very comparable. And when it clicked, it was uh, pretty scary for opposing pitching staffs. And I see Aaron being the same way. Alexis Morgan has really grown throughout the fall with what she can do from the left side of the plate. Obviously, her speed, but we're getting her more consistent in the box, and she's one that's going to continue to develop into a bat for us. Lillian Martineau is, I think, in the future, she's got the ability to be one of the better lefty bats in the conference. I hope it's this year. We've got continue to put in a lot of work. Obviously, she played a lot of baseball growing up, so she's still pretty young in softball, and she's growing as a hitter, and her work ethic is absolutely through the roof. And like I said, Addison Lund's going to see some time behind the plate for us. Does a great job there. Solid bat. Will play over at third base some, so help give us some depth. And we're excited. Like I said, we talked about from the pitching staff, Sydney Rainford, what she does as a freshman, but Macy Shamillo is going to be a great player for us in our infield as a freshman. She can play all over the infield, has a solid bat. So we've got a lot of options uh, throughout our entire roster. Like I said, it's going to be tough to find at bats for so many kids, but it just shows that we have a ton of options. I think last year we were kind of top heavy with a handful of players that we kind of relied on just live and die by their long ball by 3 or 4 different kids, and we may not have as much star power as you would look at on paper from right now, but I think we've got more depth and the ability to score runs in different ways.
I was going to ask you that about the identity of the off because you said I think school record at home runs last year, but it sounds like there's more variety this year. Was that a subconscious thing, or is it just the way it played out?
I think a lot of it is just the way the roster played out when finding kids this summer. But at the same time, we're still going to have the ability to score runs with one swing of the bat. We started showing that this fall. When you look at our fall season, our fall numbers, I think we're ahead of pace from last year with some of the power numbers. But I don't think we have multiple kids in the lineup that are 18, 20 home run kids like we did last year. But at the same time, every time I think that, I turn around like, wow, this kid could, this kid could. So we've got a lot of potential for that. It's one of those things that they just haven't had the opportunity to do it yet, and that's the exciting thing. And when we go in the portal, there's a lot of kids that we bring from P4s that just haven't had that experience and the ability to get 150, 200 at bats, and they're finally going to get that. So they're learning how to compete and grow at this level every day, and it's been fun to be a part of that this fall.
I know you and I have talked in the past. You're a big believer in development, in developing players. Everywhere you've gone, you've developed players. That's a key to success. Does the portal make it still? Does it make it harder to develop players, or do you still are able to develop players even if, for example, it sounds like you could still develop players even when they come to the portal because there's some things they could work on. Talk about the development process because we always identify that with kids coming out of high school and travel ball and freshmen, but now you in some cases you're bringing kids in from the portal that still need development.
Yeah, I mean that's the favorite part of what we do as coaches. So if you look at our transfers, we got a handful of sophomores that came in, and there's a ton of development to do there. And the thing that you really got to dive into when it's kids that didn't get a lot of opportunities where they're coming from, whether it's the ACC or another Power Four conference. I mean, you got to develop them from the mental side of the game also, and that's a big part of it. Because there's one reason or another why they didn't see a lot of time, and it's 1 year of them kind of beat up mentally on why they didn't perform the way they wanted to. So we spent a lot of that time on that in the fall is growing mentally while we're also obviously building the mechanical side, developing there. But I mean, there's always putting the development side. I love from a recruiting standpoint bringing in kids that hopefully have the ability to make an impact right away, but kind of putting together a picture of where we see them over 2, 3, 4 years. But that never stops, no matter what year we bring kids in. Like even a Sarah Stone, there's been some development to do there with a fifth year kid that has had a ton of success in the Big Ten. So that never stops.
That's really good. Pretty good there. And I'm like I said, I know Alexis Morgan's the other one. I know you've been talking about working in the box. She's just got to be excited because I don't know if she realized she's in the same state as her favorite athlete, Steph Curry now. So that might be brought
There you
up,
go.
Coach. I'm sure from time to time. You're hosting the conference championship this year. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to this group?
Well, it means that we got to really take care of business for the first 56 games to give ourselves the best opportunity to play Friday night and Saturday afternoon here in the Max and in front of a home crowd. I mean, that's exciting. Obviously, I'll put our facilities up against anybody in the American. So getting to play in great facilities for a conference tournament is great. But I mean, that's a chance where this softball community come out and help support us and hopefully winning a championship on our field. The baseball and softball community in Greenville is next level. I mean, getting to host the Little League World Series every summer, you just see the community and the support for the game of softball. So we look forward to bringing that out to the max during not only the conference tournament but all season long and having success in front of our home crowd.
What's your role, if any, in the process of getting, preparing to host a conference tournament?
For me, hopefully as little as possible. And the nice thing is our support staff is so outstanding. And I try to not to step on their toes because they do a great job from JJ McClam all the way down. I mean, they're awesome. I mean, we hosted 4 years ago. They did a great job then. We do a great job with all of our home events. So I mean, our support staff from our field crew uh, all the way up is just next level. So I mean, I let them do their thing, do their job, try not to step on their toes. So the good thing is for us, they just want us to do our job, us to coach and put a winning product on the field. And I mean, we love doing that for them.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful facility. I mean, I remember I was there, I think the first year they hosted the conference tournament, 2011. I think it was Tony Paisley's senior year, who's now in the ECU Hall of Fame. You hosted it 17, you mentioned 22. Do you remember the time when you stepped foot on the campus and the facilities there? Because I know that was a big part of you coming to ECU.
Yeah, I remember when playing here before they had the facility and how bad it was then, like a high school type facility. And then when they first built the stadium, I was coaching at Marshall to come in and just see how great uh, this is, the facility is, the fan base is, the passion for this program and the entire athletic department. But just to see the way the facility has grown also from our indoor and everything else. But I mean, they support all the athletic programs so great here. But the support for women's athletics and our program, I mean, we're proud of that. But yeah, we have everything we need to be successful. It's been a great recruiting tool, and it's been a great place for us to compete and win at. We do really well at home.
Do you all, as coaches in the conference, do you talk about you were the fifth best conference in the sport? Do you talk about, hey, let's be not just a multi-bid league, but a multi-bid league that does damage in the postseason? Is that something you all, as coaches, talk about?
Yeah, we talk about that every time that we have kind of a head coach's call is what we need to do to strengthen our conference from top to bottom. Not only get kind of two teams in, but let's get back to having potentially three and four teams in. It's going to continue to be harder and harder, obviously, in the rev share era, and just how strong the P4 conferences are becoming in every sport. But I mean, we talk all the time, like I said, about strengthening the way we schedule, how many wins we should be trying to get, and the way we should be doing things to strengthen our conference RPI. But this conference has done a great job for so many years, and I see it being just as competitive as ever. And I mean, that's the exciting thing. That's obviously Greenville and our facilities and everything drew me here, but being a part of this program and this conference and being every bit as good as a lot of the P4s is exciting. We're right there as a conference.
No doubt. And big, challenging schedules. I mean, I remember what you beat Michigan last year. That's one that jumps out there, and they ended up winning the Big Ten title game. And I know you're still working on your schedule, but I would imagine there's still some marquee there that some people might open their eyes. They're like, "Whoa, okay, that's a marquee matchup there." What's your good non-conference schedule you think you'll look like?
Yeah, I mean, we made it demanding as can be again. I mean, like our goal, like I said, is to be in the NCAA tournament, and it's to do it by putting together a resume through 56 games, and you've got to play a challenging schedule to do that. So, we're going to open up down at Georgia Tech. Alabama's going to be there, so we get a crack at them the next weekend. We get Notre Dame here, Maryland's coming here, Stanford's coming in for a midweek. Obviously, being so close to the Triangle, we get Duke, NC State, North Carolina on the schedule. So there's plenty of games against teams that were in postseason play uh, through our non-conference, and then obviously the conference schedule is going to be challenging every year. So we try to get enough games, enough P4 games against teams that can compete not only in Power Four conferences, but can compete at the top of their leagues, like in Alabama and some of those. So we're going to challenge ourselves.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting. The luxury of having the midweeks, great competition. The midweeks you get on the bus, which is so important in today's day and age. Where, you mentioned it. I mean, as a coach, did you ever imagine you'd be talking about revenue sharing and all this different stuff? You've had to adapt probably more. You and all the coaches around your time here has had to adapt more than like 5, 10 years ago.
No, I mean it is. It feels like every day we're sitting there waiting to see what's new, what are we going to have to adjust to. Waiting now to see what's going to happen with eligibility in fifth years and seeing
Right.
things like that. I mean, the game's changing all the time. I've gotten to the point now where I've got my opinion on everything, but at this point, it's just tell me what the rules are, and
Yeah.
we're going to find out a way to benefit our program the best way we can. The nice thing is we get a ton of support from our administration. We get a ton of support from our community. So we feel like we've got all the resources we need to compete with our league. And if we're competing with our league, then you're talking about being in the top 25 and going to the NCAA tournament. So we're in the right league to do it. We've got the right resource for our program to do so. So we feel like we're a lot closer to the haves than the have-nots for sure.
You make the NCAA tournament. One of the other interesting things this year will be seeding because they're going to be seeding 32 teams instead of 16. What's your reaction to that? As someone who's been around the sport, 32. So you like that move?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, anytime you can uh, take care of the teams that took care of business all season long and put them in the best spots. I mean, uh, the thing is, I'm tired of becoming just a fan when it comes to postseason play and watching from the outside in. But I am a fan of the sport, so you want to see the best softballs possible and the best venues and teams getting rewarded. And I am one that I can get home and put 4 or 5 screens on and watch as many games as possible. But like I said, when it comes to that week in May, now we want to be part of it. If that means I got to miss some games from my couch, then I'm all for it.
It's a good problem. Yeah, let's hope that's the problem. That's a good problem. I
Absolutely.
can watch it on your behalf, and then you can,
I
I can give you
appreciate you.
updates that. So for this group to accomplish your goal, it's a bit, I mean, exciting year. You're hosting the conference tournament. I mentioned you're making noise in the tournament last year. I know there's a lot of big goals in tournament. For all of that to happen, what are a couple things you're looking forward to learning about this group early in the season that you think will help define those goals?
For us, with so many new faces, it's dealing with failure. That's a big part of it. Like I said, we brought in kids from some P4s that have a ton of potential, but just haven't had to fail on a consistent basis. Not that we expect them to, but be able to overcome and over two and step up and have a big at bat in the third, because maybe they're coming from a situation where they're just a pinch hitter when everything lived and dive off of one at bat. Now we're going to have three or four of those kids that are going to have 4 or 5 at bats in the game. What are you going to do when everything's been against you, and we got to have you step up in the seventh inning in your fourth at bat and take over that moment. So we've worked a lot on the mental side with that, but the biggest thing, and like we talked about early in the conversation, is making sure we treat every single game as conference tournament, do or die. That we've got to step up in that moment, because if we wait till May to do it, then it's going to be a lot more challenging. So we feel like we've done a great job with it. We've put our team in a position to compete as much as possible this fall, whether it be what we call trash can ball or gladiator ball or playing kind of ultimate field. We want our kids competing as much as possible. I mean, we do it in the batting cage, whether it's on the hit tracks. We're doing different ways to compete. So our kids are learning how to compete, putting everything on the line. And like we talked about with an Anasauri, I don't care what you hit, I care when you hit it. And our kids are learning how to live in that moment.
That is ECU head coach Shane Winkler joining us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball, powered by 643. Coach, always a pleasure talking to you. I know it's busy. I know we're getting set before the season's here before you know it, but thanks so much for talking to us once again this year and talking about your program. And good luck this year. We'll cross paths. And thanks for giving us some time here on In the Circle on D1 Softball.
No, absolutely. And we know that we're having a conversation with you. That means we're getting closer and closer to getting going for February. So we're excited about it. Thank you.